What is going down, Sourdough Squad? We're going to have some energy today. You already know the vibes. It is Friday. The San Francisco 49ers face off against the Seattle Seahawks this Sunday with the home opener. We got some phenomenal news out of practice today. We got some viral stuff that we're going to have to talk about that happened yesterday. But you already know we're going to get into all of it. We're going to discuss it and we're going to put it into its proper context. But you already know, make it rain with those like buttons, smash it, make it rain. You already know the vibes. We up. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it. Oh boy, we got some good news today. You already know the vibes. Make it rain with that like button. You already know the vibes, just like quarterback one. We'll get into that in a little bit, but let's talk about some of the news to come out of practice today. Again, we talked about it all week. George Kittle, he could miss Wednesday's practice. He could miss Thursday's practice, but as long as he at least puts in a limited participant on a Friday practice, that opens up the door for the return of the Greg. And it does seem like the San Francisco 49ers are trending towards getting George Kittle back into the fold with the San Francisco 49ers against the Seattle Seahawks, which is absolutely huge. That man's impact cannot be understated. George Kittle appears like he will play this Sunday. And again, he was missed. And we can't wait to get good old Greg back. Very much looking forward to that. Really quickly, let's say what's good to all the SDS. Drop your SDSs and bread emojis in the chat. Happy Friday to all of you. As you know, we are one day closer for redemption. We are one day closer to getting to completely put that Chicago game behind us and focus on Seattle. I can't wait. Shout out to all the homies in the chat. It's rain season, baby. We gonna make it rain. You already know the vibes. Let's go. Let me get all the SDS in here. Shout out the homies. You already know the vibes. George Kittle's back. We're feeling good. We are feeling good. And it's Friday. We're going to get into what the weather's looking like. We're going to get into all the good stuff because, as you guys already know, we had some news drop yesterday on the stream, or I guess it wasn't really news, but we had some viral content go up as we were on the stream yesterday. I was already kind of upset by the narratives that were being spun about the 49ers quarterback. And we had a little viral video go up. I'm not going to lie. I thought there was going to be a lot of outrage. I'm really pleased with the way 49ers Twitter really handled the moment. I think they brought some light to the situation and just, reminded everyone it's really not that big of a deal. The saying goes, right? Boys will be boys, I guess. So when you look at the video, I'm just glad that everyone had fun with it. I thought there's going to be some outrage to follow. Glad there wasn't, other than good old Colin Cowherd. But what else were we to expect with Colin? But shout out to 49ers Twitter, man. They made me laugh a whole lot. They made me laugh a whole lot, just with all the jokes. Again, that's the way we got to handle it, right? At a certain point, we can't let the situation surrounding the 49ers get us down, beat us down. It's clear, it's crystal clear that the national media has a specific agenda that they want to push against the San Francisco 49ers and the 49ers quarterback Trey Lance. Who knows? Does that date back to the Mac Jones stuff? Because we do know that if you were in that Mac Jones at 3 camp, you caught a lot of heat from 49er fans. So maybe there's a little payback involved. Again, we're not going to speculate. But there's just the tones around these conversations for a 22-year-old who got a start in week 5, a start in week 17, and then gets his third start in week 1 in a monsoon bowl just seems absolutely insane at this particular point. So it's gonna be all right. Again, gotta tip the cap to 49ers Twitter for how they were able to kind of steer the narrative in the right direction. Had some fun with it. That's all we can do at this point. Just have some fun. Because that's what we're here for. That's why we like the 49ers, man. Escape from the realities of the harsh lives that we live. So that it is what it is, man. There's really nothing to talk about. There's really not a whole lot to talk about. Really, whole lot to get in, a lot to get into about that situation. No pressers today. I checked, at least not streaming. So it doesn't look like anyone's going to be talking. Does that have to do with yesterday's video? I don't know. But hey, we've been here before. We've been here with the Jimmy situation after he signed his contract. So now I like the jokes about, Jimmy's bringing him along well. But again, at the end of the day, is it that big of a deal? I don't know. It's more probably just a look situation, right? Again, franchise quarterback, those types of things. Is that the best look that you want to have? Probably not. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I do appreciate everyone's reaction to it, and just laughing it off. So feels like, at least from a fan base perspective, we were able to move past that pretty quickly and make just a hell of a lot of fun out of it. Which, again, I was on the stream yesterday when it came through. I was expecting hella outrage. I was making my little subtle jokes here or there because I just can't help myself, because I so desperately wanted to be on Twitter making just crazy ass jokes. But hey, man, I think, we understand what it is. We move on and put it behind us, because it is time to face the Seattle Seahawks. And I'm looking very much forward to getting George Kittle back into the mix. We understand when George Kittle is back in the fold, the 49ers do a lot better. I think it was Jordan Elliott, Niners Nation. Shout out Splash Cousin. He's back. I think he put out a stat that the 49ers are 6-9 when George Kittle isn't on the field. So they have a negative win percentage when George isn't playing. And we understand how it goes. When George isn't playing, things aren't as fluid. Things aren't as good. So very excited. It's not official yet that he will be back. He definitely hasn't been ruled out, but Kittle was back at practice, which is a huge sign for his availability this Sunday against Seattle. So that's going to be absolutely massive as the 49ers prepare to face Geno Smith and the Highlighters when they come down to Levi's Stadium. So let's do a quick little weather check, shall we? Because obviously that's going to be one of the main talking points, considering coming off the game against Chicago and the Monsoon Bowl. The rain followed Trey Lance and the 49ers back home. But so This is the percentages of, so right about here is going to be the start of the game in Santa Clara. So it's going to be probably right around 60 to 70% chance of participation right around the start of game time at 1:05 p.m., which is when they'll be kicking off. So it does look like it's going to rain, and it kind of hangs out at that percentage throughout the course of the day of when they'll be playing. Maybe the football gods will help us out a little bit. Looks like it dips a little bit in that time. Maybe if this, I don't know. We'll see. But it does look like the rain will be coming down against the 49ers. Ooh, good stat. Lance is 1-0 with Kittle, 0-2 without him. Ooh, nice. And also, great interview from Jesse with JT O'Sullivan. Make sure you go check that out. Jesse did a great job with former 49ers quarterback JT O'Sullivan, who is also has his YouTube channel, The Quarterback School, which is a great channel. Definitely go check that out. That was a great job, Jesse. I enjoyed that. So rain definitely looks like it will be a factor, but I don't anticipate it will be anywhere near what the 49ers had to deal with in Chicago. And the bright side of that is hey, they've been there. They're ready for it. They literally just had to go do that on the road in Chicago. So it's not going to be a shock of what it's going to take to play a game in those types of weather conditions. So maybe that is a slight little benefit that the 49ers have going for them, is that they're fresh off a rain game, and one of the craziest rain games we have ever seen. So maybe that actually goes and tips in their advantage. I don't know. We'll see. Uh, I hope it's in the realm of mist. We I don't want to jinx it because we saw the monsoon that occurred week 7 against the Colts. Uh, but we'll see. But as we start to kind of drill down and look to kind of keys to victory against the Seattle Seahawks, obviously, we are going to look at Trey Lance. We are looking for Trey Lance to make it rain on the Seattle Seahawks and just dropping dimes all over the field. Again, heavily scrutinized this week uh, by former coaches, quarterbacks, big time media have just been coming after Trey Lance, hot take after hot take about his future with the team, expectations, all those types of things. So this is a great opportunity for Trey Lance and the San Francisco 49ers to kind of get back on track. When we look at the reasons why the 49ers lost to the Bears, it was a lot of mental mistakes, is really what it came down to. Penalties, missed opportunities, and just kind of self-inflicted wounds. And if they're able to get in front of that and manage those things and correct those mistakes, there's no reason why the 49ers can't take care of the Seattle Seahawks. Again, Seattle Seahawks are riding high, but they're riding high after beating a team that beat themselves. When we look at that game, that the hold on a second. What's this? Oh, okay. That's nothing. When we look at the game that Seattle played against the Denver Broncos literally handed them the victory. The 2 fumbles in the red zone from the 1-yard line, the way they handled that last drive handed Seattle Seahawks the win. So the 49ers coming into this game, if they can just play sound fundamental football and do the things that they want to do and do them well to their capabilities, then I don't see why the 49ers can't win this game against Seattle. I still see the recipe on offense being run the football. Obviously, Elijah Mitchell's out. So who's going to step up in case, or not in case, but in place of Elijah Mitchell? The hot, we always kind of integrate fantasy football into this because I know a lot of us play it. Um, Jeff Wilson has been the big addition, the waiver wire ad, the theoretical RB1 for the San Francisco 49ers going into this. But we also know that Kyle Shanahan likes to execute a running back by committee approach, which means some other running backs are going to have to step up. Now, we only saw Elijah Mitchell and Jeff Wilson uh, get carries against Chicago. So that means one of these rookies, most likely, whether it's Ty Davis Price or Jordan Mason, are going to have to step up. Now, Debo is going to Deboko Deboko is going to have to step up and probably tote the rock a little bit more than anticipated. I could see anywhere from 8 to 10 rushing attempts for Debo Samuel in this game. Obviously, I could see a similar amount for Jeff Wilson as well, but I do think the 49ers are aiming for 30 plus carries in this game. We understand that's typically the recipe for success. Uh, is rushing the ball 30 to 35 times a game. So who's going to be that third guy that actually steps up? I'm really thinking it's going to be Jordan Mason. Again, I thought Jordan Mason was going to get dressed last game opposed to TDP. That was the case because he also provides help on special teams. But again, Jordan Mason, I think he deserves an opportunity to get some run here against Seattle. Jordan Mason just looks like a RB1. He just looks like I'm really excited about Jordan Mason, man. Really excited. I hope that he gets into the mix here against Seattle. Seattle is going to be bringing back Kenneth Walker. So Kenneth Walker was our high draft pick out of Michigan State. Really good running back. He has missed a lot of time with the sports hernia, but he has been removed off the injury report for Seattle. So it does look like Kenneth Walker will get some playing time with Rashad Penny in that backfield. So we're going to see which rookies stand out from the running back position. Is it going to be the high draft pick, Kenneth Walker for Seattle, or maybe Ty Davis Price, or Jordan Mason for the San Francisco 49ers? I'm hoping for Jordan Mason, but again, you never know what Kyle is going to do or what he's going to put out there. So we'll see what actually goes down. But again, getting George Kittle back into that running game is going to be massive. You cannot take away the importance that Kittle has in the run game. I know fans focus on the receptions. They focus on the production in the passing game because tight end has become such a fantasy relevant position. So there's a lot of stat watchers that go into that position. But it is important to remember that the tight end position is predominantly run first. You typically use tight ends to block first, and then secondary is to be a receiver. Obviously, that's shifted with your Wallers, your Pitts, with all the Kelseys, all those different types of guys have helped switch the narrative. But it is important within this scheme that Kyle Shanahan operates. George Kittle is a focal point in the run game. So it cannot be discredited, his importance to being able to come back and watching everything work as a result. Obviously, we saw Trey Lance try to target Tyler Kroft against the Bears. Could have been a touchdown. Who knows if that was George Kittle, if he would have had an extra step on those defenders, the timing maybe could have been off. Who knows? So maybe if George Kittle's in that particular scenario, that's a walk-in touchdown because he's probably faster than Tyler Kroft. Maybe the timing is a little bit better with those two. So we can always go back and nitpick, but really excited to get Jeff Wilson back. Really excited to see what this offensive line looks like. Now, the offensive line wasn't perfect against the Bears. They had sloppy tendencies from everyone. Trent Williams, Aaron Banks, Jake Brendel, Spencer Burford, and Mike McGlinchey. They all had something that wasn't perfect, but that's just what playing offensive line is. It's not going to be perfect when you're an offensive lineman. It's always going to be ugly. There's going to be opportunities where you get put out of position. You make some. Oh, we got Kyle talking now. All right, we might have to simulcast this. We might have to simulcast this because I want to hear what Kyle has to say. We might have to simulcast. Yep, I think we're gonna have to simulcast. Okay, bear with me. When I get this thing pulled up, we can watch and react together, I guess. All right, pulling it up.
So as I open the door,
he's healthier 7 days later than he was last week when he was questionable.
All right, let me make sure you can hear it.
The weather and the field conditions. Trey said that there might be some work with watered down footballs today. Was there anything like that? No.
He might do it after on the side and stuff, but that's something that it doesn't change it. The more you practice with it, it's an issue. You got to deal with it.
It seemed like you guys had a few plays that either could have been explosives or maybe touchdowns that like one or two key blocks was missed partially because of the rain. And how do you assess that? Does that give you more confidence that if the conditions are iffy, it might work out better this week?
I don't think it was because of the rain. I think that's football. It comes real close. Not always is it like that, but especially in a number of those runs that we had in the game, that we had a real opportunity to run for a lot more. A couple of those ones we got Debo on the edge and even Jeff a couple times. We were just about a half a block away. So that's stuff you got to keep working at to try to get, and totally different challenge this week, but hopefully we won't have as many close ones.
so much well-documented success with plug-and-play running backs since you've been here, and that's something that goes back to something that your dad was able to do in Denver. Is there how much lineage is there between what he's doing and what you're doing? Is it completely unrecognizable? Are there some of the same base concepts? How would you describe that?
I think they were the first people to just commit and do outside zone 90% of the time. And that's where we start with the commitment to outside zone. That's what everything plays off of. We mix in, I think, a lot more stuff, and we do our outside zone a lot differently. I mean, things do evolve and change. But I think that's the thing that's similar, that we're always going to try to make people stop our outside zone. That's where everything starts. And if you do, that makes a lot of other plays better. That makes your power game, your gap schemes better. It makes your toss schemes, your man blocking better. But we do try to major in the same thing.
An interview with your dad before the 2000 Super Bowl 19 season, and he said that if Alex Gibbs saw the things that you had introduced to the offense, you'd be off the Christmas card list.
Definitely. Alex didn't like new things. I was with Alex for a couple of years, so we had a battle on that stuff. It was fun. Miss him.
Shanahan, can you convey the excitement of the home opener for yourself and the team versus an away opener? I mean, is there an extra energy this weekend? What should the fans expect?
Definitely when you're at home. I mean, I think the advantage on the road is I always talk to our players. There's an advantage with concentration and stuff on the road. I mean, you get on a plane, usually right now you're there, you don't have family in town, things like that. And so those are the only reasons you like being on the road, but you always choose the crowd and being in your own stadium, because that's such a big factor. And crowd noise in football, not that I major in any other sports, but I just don't get how other sports can be as a big of advantage. I mean, every play starts with a snap count and cadence, and that's everything for O-line and D-linemen. So anytime you get a chance to be back home and know you don't have to worry about on the road, and the opposing team coming in does, that pumps your guys up. It pumps our whole team up. It pumps our D-line up. And man, is our O-line glad that we don't have to be on the silent.
Coach, there's a build-up and anticipation in a normal week leading up to Sunday. Has that been increased because of the loss in week 1 and just all the outside noise?
I don't think honestly, we don't hear the outside noise. So anytime you do lose, there's a lot more outside noise. Anytime you win, there's a lot of outside noise telling you how good you are. You can't react to the noise, and that's hard to do, but that's why you don't look at it that way. When you start 0-1, players, coaches, everybody feels that. But nothing really changes. So you don't try to make it something it isn't. You don't say, hey, let's try harder this week, because you like to feel you do that every single day as well as you can. And you just got to figure out why you lost the week before and try to do it better.
Is it nice to not have Russell? I guess you can play him next week, but is it nice to not face the Seahawks when they have Russell Wilson? What was your reaction when he was traded?
I was happy to know. All those guys who've been around there for long, every time they've had some really good players there in this last decade, starting with Russell. So anytime those guys are out of there, we're happy. Thought we wouldn't have to see him. We'll definitely have to see him in a week from now. And they did a real good job last week. So not taking anything from their team, but everyone knows what Russell meant to that place for a long time. But they got a good team regardless. And that's why it's still going to be a huge challenge. And I think they showed everyone that last week.
All good. Thanks, guys.
That's it. All right, guys. Thanks.
There was Kyle Shanahan at the podium, short press conference. Some of the highlights to take away. We got George Kittle is official. Oh, there we go. George Kittle is officially questionable. Sounds like he's going to be a game time decision. So other than that, Daniel Brunskill is officially out. He did say that he is happy that Russell Wilson is not playing this week.
Help your teen have a more safe and supportive online
And
experience
that
with
looks
Instagram's
like
tools.
it was
like
it.
daily time limits.
No? Yes? Was that it?
That's how he runs, whether he's running.
That's their physicality.
I'm just going to go back to the
versus,
beginning. We
16
missed the
games
first part of it.
Trey, the quarterback. Debo's a physical runner. That's how he runs, whether he's running it or we're throwing it to him. I feel it's the same ending. So that's what you always hope. And that's what you want with, to me, every single player that gets the ball except for a quarterback. Quarterbacks, you got to pick and choose. Sliding is the best deal, but sometimes there's ways to go down forward without taking the hits. And I think Trey's done a pretty good job of that. Did a lot better in this game too.
Has George made any progress with the groin?
I'm just listening. Oh, this is from yesterday?
So hopefully we'll have better luck this week.
Alan, in the game Sunday, what was your field level view
Thank you.
of Lance's
Wait.
completion to Ray McLeod? And
It was
learn
from
anything
yesterday.
about him
You're
from
right.
that
Good
pass?
call. Whatever. Let's get out of here. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you. I thought I was able to get the replay going, but it kicked me to the next one. So, anyways, not a whole lot to take away. Just heard a little bit from Kyle Shanahan. Biggest thing is about George Kittle, and he is officially questionable heading into Seattle. So there's that. There's that. They didn't ask Kyle about Trey. Not surprising. Not surprising at all. Let's see. So kind of back to what we were talking about, some keys to victory for the San Francisco 49ers, kind of how I would think the 49ers need to go about beating Seattle, a team that has always played the San Francisco 49ers really well. I think one thing that they do have going for them is that they understand now they got one game on tape of what Geno Smith wants to do. Obviously, Kyle Shanahan was asked at the presser, are you happy that you don't have to play against Russell Wilson anymore? And his answer was yes, he is very happy about that. But they are going to have to go ahead and face the Seattle Seahawks with Geno Smith. And I think that having one game to kind of pull from is going to help D'Amico Ryans game plan against what they need to do. Geno Smith, he was effective, but he wasn't really pushing the ball downfield. So I think the 49ers can take something away from that to be able to game plan. He did go, he threw 2 touchdowns at a QBR of 64.7 and threw for 195 yards. So we'll see what he does against the 49ers. I mean, his completion percentage was pretty nice. He had an 82.1 completion percentage, 23 completions on 28 attempts. He took 2 sacks, had a rating of 119.5. So he played a real clean, efficient game. The 49ers are gonna have to take that 2 sacks, and I think they're gonna have to turn that up to about 6. And if the 49ers can do that and get consistently after Geno Smith and take away the short game, I think the 49ers are going to be able to stop this offense by the Seattle Seahawks. I don't think they were great by any stretch of the imagination against Denver. Again, they played efficiently. They played well, which is half the battle. Again, you see what happens when you don't play efficiently. You don't play well, and you just don't play your game. You make mistakes, and things don't go your way. But the 49ers need to make it messy, and it all starts up front with that defensive line. Like I said, I want to see 6 sacks. I need to see this group come out ready to go, especially after that. They started off pretty well against the Bears, and then the continued extension of the third down plays by penalties just absolutely killed them. And then they're gassed on the field, and they're having to play extended drives, ultimately hurt them in the end. So really looking for this defensive line to step up, really looking for the linebackers to step up. Obviously, huge penalties by Dre Greenlaw and Azeez Al-Shaair. Hopefully those guys can play a little cleaner. More specifically, Dre Greenlaw. I think Dre Greenlaw had a rough day in the office. So it was a good opportunity for Dre Greenlaw to bounce back. Can't have those missed tackles, can't have the penalties, can't have the face masks. Those things are going to be a recipe for disaster every single time. So definitely have to take care of that going into this. I think the 49ers offensive line has an opportunity to, again, play better, play cleaner, play more effectively as a unit. I think they showed a good baseline against the Bears, and I think they'll be able to improve again as the season continues. I don't think it was ultra clean across the board, but I think there's tons of room for improvement. The 49ers cannot let Rashad Penny rush for 5 yards on average. He rushed 12 carries for 60 yards. And he was able to extend drives as well. The 49ers can do a lot by stopping them. Also, too, when you look at the guys who were effective as weapons for Seattle's offense, it was Will Dissly and Colby Parkinson. 2 tight ends, accounted for 2 touchdowns. So again, linebackers, safeties, those guys are going to have to be counted on. DK Metcalf did come away with 7 receptions, but he only had 36 total yards. Again, Geno Smith wasn't really pushing the ball downfield, right? He really wasn't driving the ball downfield. So if you can take away short to intermediate and you can make Geno Smith one-dimensional, which he kind of already is, and then you get after him with the pass rush, because I think the 49ers can get after him with the pass rush with only 4 defensive linemen. I don't think they're going to have to bring linebackers. They're going to have to bring nickel. They can do it. I don't think they have to. So if they can take away short to intermediate and bring pressure, I think there's going to be a big time opportunity for the 49ers to actually handle the Seahawks. Like, I was kind of, and let's do it right now, because I was kind of leaning towards maybe like a 1-score game, maybe a 1-score and a field goal. Nah, I'm feeling like a 2-touchdown type of game where the 49ers are going to beat this team. I feel like the noise, I feel like everything that went into week 1 against the Bears, there's an opportunity here for the San Francisco 49ers to be at home and punch the Seattle team in the mouth. So I think earlier in the week, I was thinking a little closer score, but I just feel like they could throttle them. Again, they have to play their game plan. They have to be clean. They have to do the things that they need to do. And if they can do that, then I think they could absolutely drop them. So drop your score predictions in the chat. What do you think the final score is going to be? 49ers versus Seattle at home. Geno Smith, Rashad Penny, Will Dissly, Parkinson, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett only had 3 receptions for 28 yards. Good old Marquise Goodwin coming back home. We got another 49er wide receiver revenge game with Marquise Goodwin. Noah Fant was the 3rd tight end option out there. Wasn't looking great. Let's see. We've got 20-17, 38-17, 27-14. I like that one. 28-14, 25-23, close one. Ooh, whooping them. 24-10, 24-10, 26-16, 17-36, 34-14. Trey throws for 3 touchdowns. Trey making it rain on Seattle. 28-10, 23-10, 31-7, 31-10, 27-17, 31-20, 28-9, 42-21. I'm going to go ahead and go 27-14. I'm going to go 27-14. I feel like the 49ers are going to correct a lot of the mistakes that they had. I feel like the energy is going to be up. I don't feel like, also too, you got to look the defensive side for Seattle is young, and they lost arguably their best player on defense in Jamal Adams for the entire year. They still got Quandre Diggs. I think Nwusu is a really good player. I really like Uchenna Nwusu from the edge. Jordan Brooks was all over the place. But other than those guys, I don't see a whole lot of guys that can really hurt the 49ers all that much. So I'm looking for a throttling. I think we had hoped to expect that. A lot of fans definitely did against Chicago. I had it as a 1-score game. I had the 49ers winning 17-10 because, again, you look at the conditions, the road game, 10 a.m. start. It just didn't feel like one of those games that was going to be a blowout, even though on paper, the 49ers are supremely better put together than the Bears. Taking all the circumstances into consideration, it just felt like it was going to be one of those kind of just ugly games, and it exactly was. But it was unfortunately 19-10 in favor of the Bears. This one, even though it's still going to rain, the 49ers match up really well against Seattle, right? So I really do look at a situation where the 49ers got punched in the mouth. They've been punched in the mouth repeatedly all week by the narratives, by the constant talking, all of it. And they're going to hopefully get George Kittle back, which is going to be a huge boost to the 49ers offense. And they're just absolutely going to punch this team in the mouth. Who better than Seattle to take all that anger and pent up frustration from the week and just throw it straight into Seattle's face? So I feel like this is an opportunity where we're going to see more sound football. We're going to see a lot of those mistakes that we saw cleaned up, the penalties cleaned up. I feel confident in what I saw from Trey Lance being able to deal in the monsoon. So the fact that I saw good things out of Trey Lance in that situation, he's coming back to the mist of the Bay Area, which is what we're hoping to get. I still think Trey Lance is going to be able to deal and absolutely continue to drop dimes on these Seattle Seahawks. Hoping for a big game out of Brandon Ayuk. Deebo Samuel is going to continue to be used as a rusher. You get George Kittle back into the mix. Jawan Jennings had a phenomenal game and really kind of showed, again, he's just a gamer. Will we see Danny Gray? Would like to, but I also think Ray McLeod continues to show that he can be a factor on this team. So you take in all those things into consideration. They're going to run the football. They're going to own the clock. And they're going to continue to execute play action, and they're going to continue to learn the new wrinkles with Trey Lance and how opposing defenses react to them. I think that's part of it. Kyle is still like learning how defenses are going to play against Trey, how they're going to react to zone read, how they're going to try to scheme up against, power quarterback powers and things like that. What they're trying to take away in the passing game, all those types of things. I feel like they got a better feel for that, and it just feels like they're going to come into this game settled, prepared, ready to go, and just punch Seattle in the mouth. I just really think that last game left a really sour taste in this team's mouth, from coaching staff, ownership, all the way down to the equipment staff. They want to get this W, man. So I want to see explosive plays. I want to see big plays. I want to see Javon Kinlaw absolutely dominating on the interior of that defensive line. Nick Bosa, Samson Ebukam, Drake Jackson screaming off the edge, moving Geno Smith off his spot, making him uncomfortable. I feel like Geno's a little too comfortable against the Denver Broncos. So 49ers need to absolutely make it muddy for him and don't give him those opportunities. So feels like a great time. Feels like a great time for the San Francisco 49ers to absolutely bounce back and just punch a team in the mouth. And that will really help quiet the narratives, right? If we can see Trey Lance play an effective game, looking calm. There were a couple plays where Trey Lance definitely looked, his feet were a little faster probably than he wanted them to be. So Jesse says Geno got rattled a bit in the second half with pressure from Chubb. Let's keep it rolling. Let's get Bosa hunting. That's what I want to see. So let's do offensive players of the game. Who do you guys predict the offensive player of the game is going to be for the San Francisco 49ers? Drop it in the chat. Is it going to be Deebo? Is it going to be Kittle and the return? Is it going to be Ayuk? Is Trey Lance going to come out and just drop dimes on that defense? Are we going to see multiple touchdown game from Trey Lance? Is someone going to emerge like Juwan Jennings, Jeff Wilson, Jordan Mason, maybe. Who's going to be that player of the game that scores multiple touchdowns, that really makes the impact felt? Who's that guy going to be? We got Debo 2 rushing touchdowns. That would absolutely be a huge impact. Yuck, big yuck. That would be great. That would be great. First time that we're going to be able to get Jimmy Ward back is going to be week 4. No, after week 4, I believe. So week 5 against the Panthers. So we'll see. Brandon Ayuk does feel like Deebo Samuel could be in for a big day, especially if they lean on him to pick up some of the slack from what's his name? Elijah Mitchell being down, Trey Lance, Jordan Mason Hive. Would love to see Brandon Ayuk absolutely go off. Debo, Ayuk. We got Trey Lance. Debo 2 rushing touchdowns. Ooh, TDP coming in hot. We got Deboko. Debo, love to see Mason. Feels like Ayuk could explode for a big day. Would love to see Kittle go ham as well. Want it to be Ayuk, Debo, Jordy Mason could be. I'm hoping for a Jordan Mason breakout game. Really am, especially against, the good old Seahawks. They got their high draft pick and Kenneth Walker, guy that I really like and think is really talented. But if you could have Jordan Mason thrust into the game and absolutely dominates with like a couple goal line carries, 2 or 3 big chunk runs. You get Jordan Mason lowering the shoulder on Jordan Brooks. Love to see it. Do I think Mac is activated? I don't think so. Because I think they're going to rely on TDP and Jordan Mason, who've had more experience within the scheme as of now. We know Jordan Mason can play special teams. So Jason says I'm split with Jordan Mason and Trey. Seattle susceptible to the run on the left side. Our right. Yeah, I'm excited for the run game to pick up. I'm excited for the run. I'm excited for the O-line. I think the O-line is going to look a lot better. That's what I'm most excited about. I really think the offensive line is going to come out, play a hell of a lot cleaner. Again, they played good enough against the Bears. Was it their best effort? No, it was not. Did they make mistakes? Absolutely. But they played good enough. And that's what we needed to see. We needed to see that offensive line play good enough. And they did, and the best part is they can play way better. If they clean up some mental mistakes, they clean up some angles, they clean up some technical things, they can play a hell of a lot better. So we get George Kittle out there on the edges, doubling with McGlinchey, 2 linebacker. Really looking forward to that. Danny Gray going to be deep. Would love to see Danny Gray for sure active. Run the rock, don't fumble inside the 5. Absolutely. Danny Gray could be an X factor. Would love to see that for sure. Debo. Can we get a juice blocking for Jeff and Mason? Absolutely. Is Kittle playing Sunday? He's officially questionable, going to be a game time decision. He was at practice today. That is a good indication that he will potentially be available. This is true, but it's not true that the Hawks will win. I'm sorry. He might know the Shanahan system, but he's about to get absolutely rocked in the mouth. Good old Pistol Pete's going to be spitting out more than just his gum after the game. There's going to be some teeth coming out with it as well, because he's going to get rocked with nasty blows from this 49ers team. All right. So if I had to pick a player of the game, you know what? Screw it. based on this week, offensive player of the game. Based on this week, based on the noise, based on it all, Trey Lance. You know, I'm typically more level, even keeled when it comes to expectations, especially when it comes to Trey Lance. I understand he is essentially a rookie, and it's even weirder than a rookie because of the way and sparsity in which he was used as a rookie and all the things that come along with it. I feel like Trey Lance is gonna ball. Trey Lance, he's got some. He's got some. I feel the extra juice in the tank for Trey. Got that first week jitters out of the way. Gonna get back home. Gonna have Levi Stadium rocking with them. We get some Trey chants at Levi's. What's our Trey chant gonna be? We're gonna need something. We're gonna need something to get Trey juiced. So we're gonna need some kind of Trey chant at Levi's. But again, get that confidence up. And I think you're going to see him, again, continue to work his legs and create and throw a couple touchdowns. So I'm feeling Trey Lance, offensive player of the day. Would love to see it. Would absolutely love to see it. Is that our chant? Make it rain. Make it rain. Make it rain. Everyone just, so the cherry on the top is going to be Trey Lance. They're going to run zone read at the goal line. He's going to keep. He's going to lower his shoulder. He's going to put Jordan Brooks on his behind. He's going to stand up and he's going to go, ooh. And then the whole stadium just goes, make it rain. Make it rain. Make it rain. You get Trey Lance out there just if he drops that, oh man. Goated. You know what's up. You know what's up. So if we get a make it rain celebration from Trey Lance, that would be iconic considering the circumstances. And the whole crowd just eating it up. The whole crowd just making it rain, baby. That would be hilarious. If he kind of just leaned into it, because we understand how it is in today's world. You know, these narratives get created and all this stuff. Sometimes you just got to lean into it. It's out there. Everyone's seen it. Just lean into it. Again, goes crazy, has a couple touchdowns, gets into the end zone, and just make it rain, baby. Just make it rain. The whole crowd going crazy. Whole crowd going crazy. That would be funny, man. That would be funny. All right, let's do defense. Who is going to be the defensive player of the game for the San Francisco 49ers? Again, I think the game's going to be one up front. If you see dollar bills out, it's because of you. he pulls out dollar bills from his pants pocket, just throws them in the air. Or like the whole like team, it's like a team celebration. They all have like a team. You know how they go run into the back of the end zone and they take photos? They all go back to the end zone and they're all like that as unity, together as one. Would be fire. But who's going to be the defensive player of the game? Feel like it's going to be one up front, man. I feel like it's going to be one up front. But again, if you can still generate the pressure up front, create really uncomfortable situation for Geno Smith, force bad throws, maybe there's a couple interceptions this game. Maybe you get Geno shook and he starts throwing into double coverage. Maybe. We'll see. So Bosa off the bat. Bosa. Ooh, I like this one. Kinlaw looked nice. I think he can look nice again. That interior offensive line, that whole offensive line for the Seattle Seahawks, a little suspect. Gabe Jackson, definitely older. Gotta load that 20-piece up. Mooney Ward could come away. Mooney played pretty damn good on some coverage snaps. See if he get tested more. The MFer, Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa will have 3 sacks. I love that. Bosa, Big B's. Bosa. Hubanga could be there 100%, especially if they're going to keep trying to get the ball to the tight ends. If they're going to keep trying to get the ball to the tight ends, Hubanga could be all over the place, banging. Young tackles, Nick Bosa should feast. They are young tackles. They're good young tackles, though. You go back to Abe Lucas against USC. Abe Lucas did a real nice job against Drake Jackson. Real nice job. One of the reasons why I became so high on Abe Lucas was because of how well he played against Drake Jackson. I was like, oh, he's doing that to Drake Jackson. I was like, this guy's really good. So, still a rookie, though. Still a rookie. Got to make him pay. Hubanga. Bosa. Definitely could be Hubanga. Bosa, 2.5 sacks. Bosa, 2.5 sacks. Warner, pick 6. I like that energy. Lance will make him dance 100%. That's why he's going to be my offensive player of the game. He's going to be my offensive player of the game. He's going to make it rain on him. Start calling him Mr. Rain Man. Can we have a rainy day? Bring your umbrella. Ella, Kinlaw. Mosley interception against Lockett. I just want to see them make DK Metcalf upset. I don't know what it is. Just watching DK Metcalf get all emotional in a game. Jimmy Ward. We're going to have to bring that Jimmy Ward, Black Air Force energy into the mix, man. We're going to need that. You're going to have to step up. Drake Jackson. It'll be a linebacking core. I'd say Kinlaw, but like in Bosa. This is what I'm hoping for. I'm just hoping for Geno Smith running for his life. Kinlaw. Hubanga. I like this call. This is not a popular one, but hey, could be an opportunity. Greenlaw bounces back. Huff, Mooney. Ooh, Charles Omenihu. I like that one. Sneaky. Charles Omenihu was playing on the interior a little bit in pass rushing situations. He could definitely bust free. Charles Cross did not look that bad. No, their young tackles are good. Their young tackles are definitely good. I'll give credit where credit is due. Nick Bosa, 3.5 sacks. But, Nick Chubb's good. I like Nick Chubb a lot. But is Nick Chubb Nick Bosa with Eric Armstead and Javon Kinlaw on the interior? No. So, no one said Eric Armstead. Oh, there we go, right here. Tej says Eric Armstead. Eric Armstead could feast today. I know we're putting a lot of emphasis on Bosa and Kinlaw, but maybe we get a Eric Armstead masterclass. I could see it. I could absolutely see it. I could see Eric Armstead getting one of those like 2-sack type of games on the interior. Again, you stop the run game. You get them into consistent 3rd and long situations. That defensive line pins their ears back. You just line up all the linebackers with their feet on the sticks, keep everything in front of them, and you just run your games up front with 4. You get Eric Armstead in one-on-one situations because they're sliding protection to Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead, Javon Kinlaw absolutely could be the defensive players of the game when it's all said and done, because they just absolutely bust through that Seattle offensive line on the interior. I think the interior is their weakest point. Even with the rookies on the bookends, I still think the interior offensive line is their weakest. So you would assume they're going to put a lot of attention to the edges, which could give the 49ers a really good mismatch with Kinlaw and Armstead on the interior. Those guys could bust through and just make things really difficult. That's what I'm hoping for, man. That's what I'm hoping for. Hubanga holding it down for all the Tocos out there. Oh, interesting. Interesting. This is what we call not having faith. This is what we call just being a Debbie Downer. The Seahawks are going to smash us. Us? Who's us, my boy? In the rain, but what other excuses come next? Who's us? Are you playing? What position do you play? What jersey do you have? What number are you? Is there a Hernandez out there that I can think of? Who's us? Come on. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. Oh, Swerve 49ers for show taking that L. Hey, keep it coming, baby. Keep it coming. We want all the smoke. We're battle tested, man. We're battle tested. It's week 1. 49er fans been through the ringer. We are in mid-season form right now. Mid-season form. Rain will be the excuse. We already talked about why the rain actually in Chicago's. I actually think it's a benefit at this point, considering the fact that both the 49ers and Seattle have to play in the rain. Not only that, the 49ers are fresh off of the craziest rain game we've ever seen. Seattle didn't. Seattle didn't have to go through that. So the 49ers, they're ready. They're hardened by the rain. Hell, QB1's going to be making it rain. So what's the excuse? How can it be perceived as something that actually benefits the 49ers in a sense, and then is the excuse? Come on. Come on, my boy. You can do better. I really do think last week, that rain experience, whatever rain that they're going to be dealing with, they already know what to expect in a sense. There's already expectation level. They literally just came off one of the craziest rain games ever, and they're going to bounce back right into another rain game. They're built for it. They're mentally prepared. As much as you can get, like, how do you prepare for that type of game against Chicago? You can't prepare other than literally playing in it. There's no way to prepare for those types of games. You just can't. Oh, we'll soak the footballs in water. We'll spray them in practice. Like, you can't prepare for that unless you actually play in it. Well, guess who's fresh off of just playing in one of the craziest rain games that we've ever seen? The San Francisco 49ers. So that actually, I think, aids them going into yet another rain game where they just played in that. They just practiced. They know what it's like. Like, it's not, there's no shock of like how they're going to hold up. Like, they're like, oh, we done this already. It's actually a lot worse. It's actually a lot. This is nothing. Like, I feel like that's going to be the mentality. If you get a standard Bay Area rain, little trickle down, they're going to be like, oh, it's nothing. This is basically like playing in the sunshine compared to what we just had to endure against Chicago. So whereas The Seattle, they're coming into the mix, and they're like, we're on the road. We're playing in the rain. 49ers are at home, just played in a torrential downpour. They're going to be like, oh, look at us. We saw Trey Lance still be able to, again, when the rain was just rain, right? When it was just raining for that portion, the like kind of middle beginning portion of the game, the 49ers could still operate. It was when it became that crazy, just freaking monsoon, tornado, Sharknado, like whatever that was, when they were having to come back. That was insanely difficult. But we did see that even in the normal rain, they were still able to move the ball. You saw one of the sickest passes of the entire NFL Sunday from Trey Lance layering in a ball to Ray McLeod, layering it over the linebacker in between the safety. You saw him push the ball downfield to Jawan Jennings. He's going to be fine. They're going to be fine. They're ready. They're battle tested. So the rain isn't an excuse, in my opinion. I actually believe the rain is a slight advantage for the 49ers, considering the circumstances of them coming off that Chicago game. Does that make sense? So you won't hear me talk about how the rain's going to be, oh, they lost because it was raining. They actually, in my opinion, are better suited for this game to play in the rain compared to Seattle. You know, just like when you look at East Coast teams who have open dome stadiums and they play in the cold and they do all those types of things, they typically play better in those circumstances because they're used to it. 49ers are going to be used to playing in the rain. So I'm not using the rain as no excuse around here. And that's not why they lost. They didn't lose because of the rain. The rain makes it difficult to properly evaluate, but definitely wasn't the rain. That's not why we lost. It does rain in Seattle. It's a good point. But has it rained on Geno yet? I don't think so. It does rain a lot in Seattle. It's a great point. It's a great point. It does rain a lot. So we'll see. Battle of the rain gods. Who can make it rain? I'm going with quarterback 1. How long before you think every team in the NFL has a dome stadium? I mean, those East Coast teams, whenever they start building new stadiums, you know, the Heinz Fields and the Soldier Fields and like those teams like Gillette Stadium, they're all going to turn into domes 100%. Especially when you got playoff football like in the winter. Like, we all know those games are crazy. They're crazy, but I don't feel like it translates to the best product on the field. But we'll see. So, I don't know. I feel confident going into this week. Normally, Seattle will give me a little bit of hesitation. Normally, Seattle, you know, even last year, week 4, Seattle was ass last year. We knew Seattle was ass, but they still gave me hesitation. Going into week 4, coming home, I was just like, Seattle always plays us a specific way. Again, we know division rivalries and the division opponents are just on another level. Doesn't matter what the roster looks like. There's just always something, right? So I don't know. I feel more confident than I have in a while. I think that the 49ers are prepared. There's nothing like going through a game like what the Bears game was to kind of realign you and kind of refocus you and make it more about yourself than the opponent. So that's how I really believe the 49ers are going to be handling it. They're worried about themselves right now. We got to do what we need to do. We got to play our brand of football. Screw Seattle. Of course, we're going to game plan and we're going to do all that, but we got to do what we need to do. We got to run the football. We got to run proper technique. We got to get to the second level. We got to make the proper reads. We got to play sound football, fundamental football. That's what I feel like is going to be the difference maker. And they're going to take that energy and they're just going to run through their face. So that's what I'm hoping for, man. Screw the rain. Rain, go away. Come again another day. I don't care. We got a 49er quarterback who knows how to make it rain. And so I think that's an advantage. Advantage 49ers. They got a quarterback who already knows how to make it rain. So what are we talking about? Advantage 49ers. This feels like a get right game. Exactly. Confidence should be high. Niners will be angry. You got to internalize that, man. You got to, as a football player, it's not going to be perfect. You know week to week it's not going to be, you're not going to win every game. How do you respond? That's the biggest thing as a football player that you have to hold like near and dear to your heart. Like, how do you respond from failure? How do you respond from failure? And that team failed. They failed against Chicago. The entire world is letting them know that they failed against Chicago. Take that energy, correct your mistakes, get it back, punch that team in the mouth. Be angry. Control the anger. Control the anger. Boat race them. That's what I want. I like this one. Be faithful, not hateful. I like that one. That one's nice. Why is the national media that negative about the 49ers? Because being negative about the San Francisco 49ers generates clicks. Because being negative about Trey Lance and the San Francisco 49ers generates talking points. We have a very passionate fan base. There's a reason why I can come to you and I can talk to you about San Francisco 49ers football every day because you guys support me and you allow me to do this and talk about this team and talk about the games and do all this kind of stuff. Like, we have a phenomenal fan base, but a passionate one at that. And you get every type of fan. You get the really smart fans. You get the really emotional fans. You get the kind of fair weather fans. You get the always positive fans. You get the always negative fans. You get the Jimmy fans. You get the Trey fans. You get the hate on everyone who's injured fans. Like, you have everything within this fan base. But the baseline, when you strip away like what makes them a fan, they're very passionate. We have a very passionate fan base, and it goes far. It's not just in the Bay Area. You have pockets. Like, I don't know, where are you watching this stream from? It's hour 12 in. We got about 225 people in here. Where are you watching from? Like, I would imagine that not all of you are from the Bay Area. I would imagine that most of you are actually outside the Bay Area. So this fan base, there's a reason why it triggers national media, because they get national response. They get national coverage from everyone. And you can already kind of see it in the chat. Like, you got your local guys, but you got a lot. There's 49er fans spread out everywhere right now. Let's take a look. We got NorCal in the building, Arizona, Indiana, St. Louis, Fresno. We got Oregon, Indiana, Georgia. We're overseas. We got Germany checking in. We got the Haystack checking in. Sacktown. We got Vancouver, Washington. Let's go. Memphis, Miami, San Diego, Monterey. Some of my favorite places also. Southwest Wisconsin, Phoenix, Arizona, El Paso. Ooh, I've been to El Paso a couple times. I had to fly out of El Paso every time I came came home from college. Cali transplant in Hawaii. Ooh, let's go. Charlene's in Hawaii. Legend. Bakersfield, Texas, Iowa, Indiana, San Diego, Reedley, Milpitas, Utah. So, like, you could see, man, we got people everywhere. Live in Indiana, North Carolina, Columbus, Illinois, Alabama, Fort Bragg. Lived in New York his whole life, AZ, Fort Worth, Houston. This is why you hear our names in the national media all the time, because 49er fans are freaking everywhere. Hey, be safe, my boy. We're everywhere, man. We pop up everywhere. So we are a big brand. We represent a hell of a lot of places. So nationally, we track. And so whether they're talking good about us, whether they're talking bad about us, we have people everywhere that are going to check in and listen up and want to hear what is being said about our team. So you can see, like I said, it feels like we got more people outside of the Bay, outside of California, that check into these lives and that are faithful fans, man, outside of the Bay. So our fan base tracks, man. Bay Area boy, let's go. Utah, San Antonio, Connecticut. Love hearing all the faithful in Texas. Oh, we travel well. Boston, Massachusetts. Running deep in Indiana for sure. I know I've seen a couple of you guys. Shout out to all the faithful showing up. We got Texas, Central Valley, represented at Jacksonville, Utah. When you live in the East Bay, you're surrounded by Raiders fans. Facts. I used to work in the East Bay. I used to work in Alameda. So I was always talking trash to Raiders fans. Always. Alabama, Connecticut. I mean, you get the vibes. We're everywhere, man. We're everywhere. Shout out everyone checking in, because you know we deep. SDS deep. SDS worldwide. Not only that, not only 49er faithful worldwide, but SDS worldwide, man. We're all over the place. You see these vibes. We're in every pocket of the world. Let's go. We're everywhere, man. So that's why they hate on us. That's why they hate on us. When it's easy to hate, they're gonna go for it because they know we're gonna fight back. We are a ravenous group. So that's why they're gonna talk about us, whether we're winning, whether we're losing. They know we're gonna help push. We're gonna help talk about it. We're gonna help stir it up. All that good stuff. But where am I from? I'm from the Bay. Born and raised in the Bay. I started South Bay, first portion of my life. Then I moved East Bay. I don't know if I'm considered in the Bay anymore. I don't think I'm in the Bay anymore. It's kind of weird. I'm like right on the edge of the Bay. I'm like right there on the edge of the Bay. But been a South Bay kid, then moved up to the East Bay. Now I'm right outside the Bay. Like I'm basically in between Livermore and Antioch. Like right there in the middle. I did live in Pleasanton. I lived in Pleasanton. I lived in Livermore. Good call. Good call. So that's funny. But I grew up in San Jose. Then moved up to the East Bay. That's right there. Amador Dons High School. Right there. Good call. Right here, DVC. So that's Pleasant Hill. I've been all over the Bay, man. How does Owen Davenport join the SDS? Well, all Owen has to do is just have to have good vibes, good energy when talking about the San Francisco 49ers. He's got to sub to the channel. Got to be one of the boys or girls, because we got sourdough sisters too. But man, all you got to do, really, sub to the channel, smash that like button, keep the energy and vibes up. You already know. Good to see that we everywhere, man. If you like East, you good. That's it. If you carry a sourdough loaf in your back pocket everywhere you go, that's it. You're good. You're in the SDS, baby. If you keep that sourdough on you, you good. You good anywhere. Just ask. Oh yeah, the sourdough sisters are lively. 100%. Shout out to all the sourdough sisters. Always holding it down too. Always holding it down. My guy said, shout out to all those SDS baddies. We a gang, you know the vibes. Yeah, eat that sourdough bread from Boudin. Get a nice clam chowder bread bowl. You're good. You're good. But you already know, once we get to that hour point, we're off the rails. So I'm off the rails at this point. We ain't got nothing really holding us down at this point. We're just kind of talking about whatever. Yeah, hell yeah. I see all you guys too, man. I see all the homies repping SDS like in the 49ers like YouTube chats. That's fire. That's one of those things that just makes you smile, man. Just makes you smile. So I appreciate you. Appreciate the gang, man. Oh yeah, Charlene in here all the time. For show, for show. Hell yeah. Shout out the squad. Squad's deep, man. Squad's deep. And we're just getting started. And the squad right now, the squad needs a W. The squad needs like a freaking legit W. Like I'm talking about take one of those like those sourdough baguettes or like just the big sourdough rolls and like just kind of like hold it like a baseball bat and square up a Seahawk and just whap. Like that's the kind of dub I need. I just need just an absolute mollywhopping from the 49ers. I think that would absolutely change the entire tone of this conversation. Just whop them right on top of the head. Whap! Just let it get a little stale, so it gets a little harder. So leave it out in the sun for a little bit. Whap! Just right over the dome piece with a big piece of sourdough bread. That's what I want this week from the 49ers. I feel like they're going to give it to us. I feel like they are. I feel like they're going to go out there and they are going to get it together. If they don't, get ready. Get ready. You already know the vibes. It's going to be a big one. Oh, man, I want Mason to ball, baby. I'm looking forward to it. I got Mason loaded up, and all my dynasty leagues, all my fantasy leagues, I'm ready for the Mason Hive to explode. I want two tuggies from Mason. I would love that. Just an absolute domination from Jordan Mason. I hope he gets some opportunities. That's really what I'm looking forward. And this is what I agree. This is why I want Trey Lance to be. I picked him to be the player of the game on offense because he proved to me that he can throw in the rain. I saw it. So, considering the circumstances, I still think they can air it out. I still think he's going to be able to utilize his legs. I just want to see them. I just want to see Trey Lance put this team on his shoulders. Not that he has to. They're going to lean on the run game. But I do just want to see Trey Lance ball, especially after this week. Feels like great timing for that. Feels like great timing for that. Got to take care of the ball. Have to respect it. Can't hold the rock like a loaf of sourdough bread. Anyways, you guys know the vibes. So the 49ers kick off at 1, right? So we'll see. We'll see. I haven't decided yet if I'm going. I've been back and forth all week about going to this game. I've just been back and forth because, I could be sitting at home watching this game in the comforts and do my lives, do all my stuff here. But I kind of want to go to the game as well. But I can't decide because let's face it, sitting in the rain for multiple hours. And again, I'm a big outdoor guy. Like I see a blizzard, I head into the eye of the blizzard. I love snowboarding, so the elements don't bother me a whole lot, but paying a lot of money to go sit in the rain, I don't know. Still deciding. Jason was going to come to the game, but same thought processes. It's like sitting in the rain, watch a football game. I know a lot of people do it, and I salute them. Again, I was going to go to the Chicago game. I saw it was going to rain. I said nope, and I'm extremely happy that I did not go to that game because it looked miserable. So we'll see, man. It's going to be down to the wire if I go or not. It's going to be freaking down to the wire. Because I'm going to just have to prepare to just get mentally drenched. And this is a great point, man. I could sit through a rain in a must-win elimination game. Like, that's a different story. Week 2, I don't know, because it is entirely is not entirely enjoyable. It is not. It really isn't. Lives are a little tricky at the game. Little tricky. I don't have the whole workflow kind of worked out. But we'll see. This is a must-win game. Do you guys think this is a must-win game? Week 2? Do you think this is a must-win game? I do. I think for our mental health, this is a must-win game. I think for the 49ers' mental health, Trey Lance, the offensive line, the defense. And this game, you ask anyone in the NFL. At this level, everyone's an athlete. Everyone is a premier athlete. So the separator at this level is your mental capacity. The things that make you superstars and the best at your position typically come down to how mentally smart, strong, and sound you are. So for their mental health, yes, win this freaking game. Like, this is a must win. You got to take care of this. You got to take care of Geno Smith, man. You can't go down from Justin Fields to Geno Smith for a just pure mental standpoint. You got to win this game. First one at home. Again, we saw how rough it was when they lost the home opener last year against Green Bay. Should have won that game. Could have won that game. Didn't win that game. Goes into a freaking 4-game tailspin of losing 4 games in a row. For the mental health, gotta win this game. We can't have 2 weeks of trash narratives going into a primetime Sunday night football game against a decent team. Even though they lost and the Denver Broncos lost to Seattle, they're still a good team. Gotta win this game. Gotta win it. Gotta set the tone. Gotta set the tone in the NFC West. This is right now, the Seattle Seahawks are leading the NFC West. This isn't just a confidence thing. You got to take care of your division. You got to take care of your division. And Seattle is sitting there right now with a win column while the rest of the NFC West is sitting there with their head in the dirt. Gotta win. Gotta win this game. Gotta get the momentum in the right direction. Energy, momentum, mentals. Get it figured out, ironed out. Punch the Seattle team in the face. Take that sourdough baguette, slap them across the face with it, and then just make it rain. And then correct the narratives heading into week 3, which would be a primetime game. Gotta do it. Gotta win. Gotta win. So I think we're all kind of on the same page here. I think we kind of believe it's not a must win game, it's a gots to have it game. Regardless, there needs to be a W. There needs to be a W at the end of it. Oh boy. If we lose, I'm fully prepared. I'm fully prepared to be your guys' guidance counselor for the week. That's how I'm looking at it, So, again, it's not jinxing. I want to make that abundantly clear because anything can happen in the NFL. Any given Sunday, I will never not preach that. You got to show up. You got to show up and play your game. If you don't, a shitty team will punch you in the mouth. So anything can happen. But theoretically, based on the matchups, what we've seen, the 49ers should absolutely boat race these clowns in Seattle. But if they don't, I will be here to host therapy sessions for the next 5 to 6 days leading up to Sunday Night Football against the Broncos. So we'll be good. We'll be all right. Either way, SGS, we stay strong. We weather the storm. We weather the adversity. And we just try to block out. We just try to block out all the, not block out, but help. We try to help the very emotional side of the fans. That definitely showed up, after a preseason game against the Texans. We've been there. So we're prepared. We're ready to go. We got this. So we got some good stuff. Exciting matchup, to say the least. I wouldn't say this is a guaranteed win. I wouldn't say you can look at this game and just pencil it in as a W. I wouldn't say none of that. But all things considered, 49ers play their game, their brand, do what they need to do. This is a W and should be a convincing W at that. I feel confident in saying that if they do what they need to do, this should be a two-score victory. Should be. That's what I'm going to believe going into this. 100%. No games are ever guaranteed. Ever. So we're not taking that mentality into it. But we are taking the mentality that we need to smash these fools. Tired. Sick and tired. Trey's legacy starts this Sunday. I mean, if he can leverage this week into a signature performance against a division rival, you're going to hear a lot of that talk go away. You're going to again, football's kind of like when I was talking to Jimmy Ward, when Jimmy Ward and I hopped on a live together, he was like, "Bro, the NFL's a movie. NFL's a movie." I'm like, "What does he mean by that?" And he's like, "It's narratives. It is storylines. It is headlines. It is." And I was like, thinking about it. I'm like, "Yeah, you're kind of right." Because you look at this headline: Trey Lance, down and out, written off by national media after 1 week after the Chicago Bears loss, comes back and dominates division opponent and, media darling Geno Smith, and boat races the Seattle Seahawks, a team that this fan base hates. Just saying, the movie script is there. Let's get on the right side of the script. Let's get on the right side of the narrative. We're in a narrative-driven league. That's not what the team's focused on. But let's get on the right side of it. Let's give them something to watch. Get your popcorn ready, ladies and gentlemen. I think we're going to have a good one against Seattle, so I'm really looking forward to it. We'll see what the coverage looks like on Sunday. Again, it's all going to be based on if I go to the game or not. Really, truly undecided if I will go to the game. Don't know. I'm not sure. But again, the content will follow based on if I go or I don't go. So stay strong. Keep your mentals up. Be prepared for the week that will come if the undesirable occurs. But we don't believe that's what's going to happen. We believe this is going to be a W, and we're going to be riding high into week 3 prime time. And we're going to get the script on the right track. All right, let's do it. It's time to shut everyone up. And what's the best way to do that? No, you don't even have to talk, man. Do it with your play. Do it with your play. And then no one can say nothing. So appreciate all the SDS. Appreciate everyone checking in. Appreciate all the homies always. We did a long one today. Really long one today. But shout out to SDS as always. Probably won't be doing live tomorrow. Saturdays are the days where I spend with my family, get my mentals right, get prepared for Sunday. So you already know we'll be doing content on Sunday. We'll just see what it looks like 100%. But I appreciate all you guys as always tapping in, vibing with the Sourdough Squad. Make sure you hit that like button on your way out. Sub if you haven't already, and join the legendary SDS Appreciate you guys as always. We're undefeated, and like yeast, we freaking rise. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it.